Welcome back. Obamacare just turned 5 this week, and just like a toddler, it's not perfect. But all kidding aside, thank you, TJ, by just about every measure, it is working. At the White House this morning, President Obama did a victory lap to wish it a happy birthday.
The Affordable Care Act, this law, is saving money for families and for businesses. It's working despite countless attempts to repeal, undermine, defund, and defame this law.
All right, let's bring this right to our panel. Richard Brodsky is a former Democratic New York State Assemblyman, now a senior fellow at Demos and a professor at NYU. Welcome. TJ McCormick is a Republican consultant who is staring at you at home. And Dominic Carter is a political journalist and author. And TJ, I heard you chuckling a little bit as we talked about the successes of Obamacare. Want to run through a couple of statistics that I think make the case that it is a success, and we're going to throw them up on the screen. 16.4 million uninsured people get health insurance because of Obamacare. Moving on, the original estimate was going to be the $710 billion. It's actually going to cost less than that, 29% less. Next stat, the growth of healthcare spending, the lowest increase since 1960. And finally, our final argument, Obamacare's approval rating. All right, it's still underwater, but it's coming close. Putting the approval rating aside, you still hold. You were laughing before. You still laughing at Obamacare?
I was laughing at the toddler line. It was a great line.
I thought you were laughing at me.
There.
Are you? Is Obamacare working?
All I know is that when you talk at street level to regular people, to small business owners, to people who had health care before, 16-point-something million, that's nice. Out of the 300-something million people in America, it's a very, very small number who are now being serviced by this. Undeniably, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Americans who did in fact lose their doctor, who did in fact lose their plan, whose premiums have gone up exponentially. Small business owners.
Right,
it's the truth.
Right.
It's the truth. This is the wobbly part of the toddler. This is the toddler who still puts their finger in the socket. That's the part of this plan that's not working.
Before Mr. Brodsky does his thing, can I just say to you, I need your, a brother needs help. I need your help, Andrew.
I thought you were going to tell me you love me. So.
No. Your soon bride-to-be, Hillary, in the green room had to save me because I was under attack by these two before we even started the show tonight. So under attack before we even start the show, and Hillary had to come to her brother's aid.
All of this is one big non sequitur with a bit of flair.
Right. Okay.
So here's the thing.
Okay, but now,
I am correct.
No. You just said with a flair. What you just got with a flair? Was that how you did it? No, you didn't get an answer. In other words, read between the lines what he just said. Obamacare is working. It may have some kinks. This is what he really said, but he gave you a Republican point of view, so he couldn't tell the truth. He had to spin it to slam the president. When you look at the amount of Americans throughout the country that did not have insurance prior to Obamacare, look at how many millions less there are today. If that's not success, I don't know what is.
And a lot of those people are about to have a rude awakening when they realize that now even those premiums about to go up that they got because now subsidies are going to have to be cut because they're going to owe money retroactively.
You're making it up.
Small business. I'm not making this up at all. Small business owners are paying more in accounting fees, bookkeeping fees. They're being hassled in terms of their employees, how many they can have or they can't. I'm telling you, this has been not a rousing success. He can cherry pick all he wants, and I don't blame him for doing it. But there is another side to every story.
Bourgeois.
But there has been an impact on business.
Doesn't that? Oh, please. When you have a healthier country, healthcare costs are going up at a much lower rate than they used to. 16 million people who did have insurance. The actual cost of the program, instead of being 729, is 500. What do you think they'd be saying if the numbers were reversed?
TJ, what would you be saying if the numbers were reversed? And there were fewer people who had insurance.
That is a classic. My head is spinning. That is great spin. I learned at his feet. Okay, I'm taking notes right now.
My
that was
feet
brilliant
is about
because
where
I have
you
no
want
idea
to
what
be.
the hell you just said. No.
Stick around at my feet.
I am. Today it's boots, by the way.
So if it doesn't work, then why is one of your presidential candidates about to sign up for
Look, the last presidential candidate was the architect of something similar.
No. Ted Cruz is going to sign up for Obamacare.
I'm telling you right now.
Wait a minute.
Help
me out here.
To be fair, Ted Cruz has no choice because there's a law that says that members of Congress have to if they're not getting outside insurance through a spouse.
Let us also keep in mind.
He doesn't have to have insurance.
Listen,
he can be like the rest of them.
Everybody has to have insurance.
He can pay the tax. That's
part of Obama.
He can afford it. It's working. Take a deep breath. Move
know
on.
what?
Benghazi.
You know what?
Come on.
What about-
Let's do Benghazi.
What
Come on,
about the
come on.
idea?
Hey,
Listen,
We'll do-
small business is the engine for
You know,
recovery
he
in
was
this country,
born in
and
Ken-
small business.
he was born in
has
Kenya.
been-
Or minimum wage.
and
Let's switch
small
to minimum
business-
wage.
all right,
He's a Muslim.
Oh no, minimum wage. Let's absolutely.
See?
What-
have
wait,
the
wait, wait, wait,
masses
wait.
Kenyan
What-
Muslim.
aim for-
Dominic, what about the impact on small business? It has been something of a burden on businesses. Yes, it's got a lot of benefits. Is that a viable argument against it?
There is some validity to be said for that in terms of small business owners claiming that it's driving up some of their costs. But we have to look at the big picture.
And you know what? I'm not interrupting you. Let me lead you down the path.
you're
No, I am.
totally
Let me
interrupting
lead you down the path though. What about those big businesses? Please, this is sincere. What about
Okay.
those big businesses that were given waivers and exemptions? When those chickens come home to roost and they have to start complying, what then happens
Okay,
to the big
but
picture?
now let me just finish before
Okay,
Mr. Brodsky.
thank you.
The only thing I just wanted to say was that, okay, let's say you don't like Obamacare, right? What was the answer from your party prior to that? It seems like all your party did was side with big business, with the medical industry, drove the costs all the way up, and medical care was
You
a total
could have had
disaster.
a series of
gotta-
laws. You could have had, this didn't have to be a monolithic, massive, and there's a
should have
lot of
been.
Democrats
gotta-
on that side. I bet you
I gotta jump
Brodsky
to-
would agree with
I
that.
got to jump to a break. Now that we've solved Obamacare,
That's Mr.
let's
Brodsky.
I was jumping on the trend.
let's bring it
It's
to
a
you at home.
hashtag Brodsky.
Obamacare is the subject of our online
Hashtag.
question for the day. Head to Facebook and Twitter. Sound off on today's question: is Obamacare a success or a failure? And if you want to sound off on our panels and how they handled this topic so far, feel free to do that. Up next, we're going to talk. Up next, we're going to talk about con jobs. How hard it is for some ex-cons to actually find good jobs. President Obama is being pushed to do something to help some of them. Question is, should he? It's a debate that's sure to get heated, and that's next.